Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Good afternoon. Oh wait, we don't know when people. Whatever.
It's
Good
afternoon
day.
somewhere.
Good day.
It's afternoon somewhere
Good
every day.
This is Judy Gold. You're listening to Kill Me Now. Today has been the fucking Kill Me Now day of the Kill Me Now century. We have some new things we have to introduce. Hennessy's here.
Aloha.
And already annoying me. I'm going to introduce our guest in 1 second. Patrick's on the board. He just sits there and doesn't say anything. And all right, so you know how we have a whistle every time we mention anything Jewy?
Yeah.
Hennessy surprised me, so I'm giving him time to, like, you know, I'm not going to put you on VP today.
We'll see.
Maybe. Hennessy bought me a bell. I'm so excited. So that way I don't have to whistle. I don't have to put the whistle in my mouth.
Yeah.
All right.
No
and
more
today,
germs. No more
Today is going to be a pretty Jewy show.
Yeah.
Because our guest today
I'm sorry, everyone.
is the Jewy, but not that Jewy, Monica Piper, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Now, Monica Piper is starring in her off-Broadway show, Not That Jewish, which keeps getting extended, like my penis. When were you supposed to be out of here?
I was supposed to be out of here January 31st.
And now where are
now
we?
at least-
we're March 1st.
Yeah.
Well, March 1st.
Yeah.
At least we'll be here through April.
That's good. Are you getting sick of it?
No,
Yeah, I know.
I love New York. I love my show.
Right.
What's to get sick of? I love getting a check every week. And,
Yeah, that's nice.
I do
The
miss my
check.
kid. I miss my house. I miss my
Yeah, but
dog.
your kid's old now, right?
Yeah, he's 92. I'm very,
Wow, you
very
look
well.
fantastic.
I know. I look. I'm.
Yes.
Faye Dunaway's
How old
asking
is
me
he?
for tips. He just turned 25.
Yeah, that's old.
He's adorable.
Yeah, I know. So
But
am
the
I.
good news is he's extremely immature.
Yeah, so,
and has
when you're the child of a comedian, you can't be mature. There's no way.
You're pretty cool, though. You have to be a cool person. That's a requirement.
Yeah, whatever. So, Monica, I had a shitty fucking day. Let me just tell everyone, because I'm in Kill Me Now mode. But I had to do some press for this film I'm in called The Last Laugh, which is about humor in the Holocaust, right? And of course, I'm in it. Yeah. I'm in it for like 3 seconds, but I have to do all the fucking press, right? Which is fine, you know. But
You are the name.
no, it was me, Gilbert, and Alan Zweibel.
I would say you're the
Oh,
name.
that's great.
Yeah.
But when you say Holocaust, do you have to ring the bell?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And so I had to do this press, and then I had to go for a fitting, and then I'm 16 blocks away from, 16 blocks, and then I'm a little way west, right, from the studio. And then I can't get a fucking cab because it's like 4:45.
Yeah.
So I get on a city bike.
And you're black. But aside from that,
Right.
And I get on a city bike, which I love because I didn't exercise today. And then there's no place to fucking dock it because they're doing construction. So I had to go. I got here and then I had to go to 49th Street. Fuck. Okay. And then I went to the doctor yesterday. I've been avoiding the doctor for about 2 years because I know I gained weight. I gained 30 pounds.
Okay.
but you're so tall.
I'm gonna
I know no one can tell, but let me tell you something. I'm fat. I'm fat. She said the word. Let me tell you something. She said the word obese, not about me, but she said, "Is anyone in your family? Do you have any obesity?" I was like, "No! Don't you fucking say that word in front of me."
Isn't that a normal question?
No, it's not a normal question.
Okay, well, what do you think it is? Because you work out a lot, and you don't
this
feel
is what
like
I think it is. I drink, but it's not. That's not 30 pounds.
You don't. Yeah,
I'm not big alky.
and you don't drink beer.
Croissants, perhaps?
No. I think it's my antidepressants. I think might be my arthritis medication. I think it's menopause. This is what I've decided. I'm going to give 10 pounds because of Trump, 10 pounds my dead mother, and 10 pounds, medication
That's fair. I think
and
that's-
menopause.
You could change all of that.
And eating is that anywhere?
No, that has
involved?
nothing to do with it. Okay. And I
wrong,
eat
Monica.
really late. So now Monica Piper is.
Can I just say that
go
when you
ahead.
screamed no,
Yeah.
Patrick's ears started bleeding, but I don't want to. It's not about
who
Patrick.
cares? He's so
I
annoying.
know.
One time we sang like 3 bars of a song, and he had to like get it cleared.
the cops came to
yeah,
our
the
house.
cops came. ISIS.
Yeah.
So
was a big to-do.
Monica,
Yes.
you started doing stand-up comedy in the 70s, right?
1980.
Oh, I thought it was
I
like
was doing
78,
improv.
79.
I was doing improv in
Okay.
the late 70s.
Okay, I knew you were performing at that
I
time.
was definitely performing,
Because
but I was
I-
teaching at the same time,
Okay.
teaching high school.
So you were a high school English teacher. Well, let's start from the beginning. You grew up in the Bronx.
Yes.
And your father, it's funny because I've done a couple of one-person shows. A lot of, I get a lot of stuff from my mother, but you really focused a lot on your father and the fact that he was the funny one in the family.
Well, my mother was very funny also, but very dry, witty.
Right.
Her, Mom, I'm an actress now. That's
Right.
fabulous. What are you in?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have a play or a movie or a series, but I'm an actress.
Right,
That's such a
right.
coincidence because I'm a queen.
Right.
I just don't
It's
happen to
that-
have a country.
Yeah,
She was
it's the
dry and
backhanded,
sarcastic.
nasty
Yeah, but my
compliment,
father was physical, shticky, and
Right.
clever. He had it all.
And he performed.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He was actually, he's written up in Who's Who in show business. He was the first person to do a record act where he lip synced, and then Jerry Lewis did one, and
Oh, yeah.
people followed him. But
He was the first one, and now Jimmy
Literally-
fucking Fallon is making millions on that.
He was the
Yes.
first YouTube star before YouTube even existed.
that's
and
exactly
you're
right.
on VP.
That was too
That's
easy.
voice probation.
But he was,
right.
but he was funny, just in the house. I mean, just
Right.
no matter. He could never be. Dad, I'm serious. I'm Roebuck. How you doing?
that's
you know what I
funny.
mean? It was like really. But it's
So
funny.
you,
But he told me I was funny,
right?
and I believed him.
Right.
And we would.
Do you have siblings?
No.
Oh, so
No.
you're like the big favorite.
To-
Okay.
Yes, I
Yeah.
am. That's funny. I wasn't the favorite, and I'm an only child.
That's a good joke.
That's a good joke.
I'm an only child,
Let's
but-
write that down.
Yeah.
All right, you can have it. All right. So, anyway, he told me I was funny. Basically, the play is my funny father, and then funny me, and then my funny son.
Right. Now it's la door for door, generation to generation. Now, so you grow up in the Bronx. Were you in the school? Were you popular? We talk a lot about being popular when you were a kid. Were you popular?
I was popular with my 2 good friends,
Right.
but not so much.
Right.
In high
did
school.
you do stuff like? Were you in the play?
I was definitely in all the plays, and I was
Really?
in the talent shows.
and did your parents come?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was, I people say that maybe you would have been a greater comedy star if your parents weren't so nice.
Oh, shut
You know?
the fuck up.
They're telling me that I had a happy childhood.
Right.
So
So then
I'm not fucked up enough.
you went
That's
to
terrible.
I know people are assholes. So then you go to college and you become a high school English teacher.
I did. My mother kind of put that whole thing in
Yeah,
me.
my parents wanted me to be a teacher too.
And I
Yeah.
went. I had a choice of going to music and art or performing arts.
Right.
And I wanted to go to performing arts,
LaGuardia?
which used to
Yeah.
be the High School of Music and Art.
Yeah.
There was music and
Yes.
art, and there was performing arts.
Right.
And then they merged and became
LaGuardia.
But music and art not only focused on your music or your art, visual art,
Right.
but it also gave you an academic education.
Right.
Whereas performing arts was pretty much you go straight from there to bye bye
LaGuardia now, because my son's at 15, my younger son, and a lot of his friends go there, and that is really academically tough too. Yeah, they
See,
have a
that's good.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be.
Right.
Performing arts really focused on getting you in the
In
theater-
show business.
In show business.
So where'd you go?
I went to music and art.
Okay.
So
And then where'd you go to college?
Boston University.
Oh, very nice.
That's where I got my New York accent.
Yeah. You have such a fucking accent. It's unbelievable. I love it. I love it. So you go to Boston, and what did you go? Did you go safe on purpose? Did you go? I mean, was your mother's voice in your ear?
My mother's voice
Saying,
you got to get an education. You have to have something. What's
to fall back
to fall
on?
back
you
on.
have some. So I was a music major, and then I minored in business management. Judith, you have to. You should get your teaching degree. Get your teaching degree. And
that's what I did.
Yeah, it was. These my father was a depression baby. And my mother was depressed. Good night, folks. And it was always you had to be safe because you didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. So how many years did you teach, and what school?
I taught a lot. I taught 6 years. I taught. My first job was in Yonkers, and then I taught in Chicago. I moved to Chicago for 2 years
to do improv,
to teach.
Right.
But while I was there, I started studying with Second City.
Right.
So that's when I really. That's when it really started.
What? So you were a high school English teacher,
but I had to leave teaching. I couldn't handle the money and prestige.
Yeah. So, but you're a high school English teacher. You're 5'1",
4'11" now.
Okay, you're 4'11".
But I don't want to talk about it.
You're bite-sized.
You probably looked like a student or younger than the students.
I got pulled out of a fire drill for talking.
No way.
I swear to God.
I bet. Did all the boys have a crush on you?
Back then, I think a lot of them did.
Did you molest any students?
No, but I went to the prom with one.
No way.
I swear to God, he didn't have a date.
No way.
And he didn't have a date, and I had to kind of go be some kind of chaperone thing anyway. So
Did you pick him up?
No, we met at school.
Oh,
So-
did he get teased? I feel bad for him.
No way. She was the hot teacher.
No, they thought it was cool.
Oh, all right.
No, I helped this kid. He
Where
scored
is he
points.
now?
He's committed suicide. But
Did he?
No.
Was he Jewish?
What are you, my mother?
To this day, he tells everybody that he lost his virginity to.
Suicide. All right, so but there must have been teaching is performing.
Teaching is performing. I literally was doing 5 sets a day. With hecklers.
Right.
So I said, wait a minute, I'm not getting paid enough to do, I could be doing this for a living somewhere else. But
What were the books you made them read?
Oh, well, I was very lucky. At this one school, Ravenswood High School, I was able to teach, it was like a magnet school to try to get kids to desegregate on their own by giving them this fabulous program. So I was very lucky. I taught a class called Escape, and that was like Man-Child in the Promised Land and The Glass Menagerie, and really cool stuff.
That's awesome.
It was very awesome. And I taught folk rock blues as poetry.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an amazing school. It was called Ravenswood High School, and a lot of my former students have actually come to the show.
No way.
Yeah.
Do you remember them?
Yes, of course. I mean, I really do. Not every one of them, but
Now, can you give me some parent-teacher conference stories, like the parents? Come on, they're awful.
They are awful.
They are fucking awful. I talk to, because when I go to the parent-teacher conference, I go, tell me all about, it's horrible. What were some of the shit things parents did to you?
Well, my reputation was her class is funny as hell.
Right.
You'll have a great time, but she's really tough.
Right.
It's really hard to get an A.
Right.
So I had really high standards.
Right.
But it was easy because for this, whatever reasons make us become stand-ups, because we know we've got that thing that makes us good stand-ups.
Right.
That same thing applied to teaching. Right. So they were engaged and wanted to
They weren't bored in
They
your
weren't
class.
bored. They were inspired and wanted to do well.
Now, could you tell...
Like we did Romeo and Juliet and West Side Story at the same time.
Because one is based on the other. Written by Leonard Bernstein.
Choreographed by
Judy
Jerome Robbins.
Yes. So, could you tell when someone hadn't read the book?
Oh, absolutely.
Like me? And
one time, I swear to God, this is a true story. They had notes. They wrote notes for a test literally on their hand.
Right.
On the back of their hand?
No, on the front of their hand.
Right.
Like really stupid.
Right.
And that way, because they could just go like this,
Right.
and it was easier than going like.
Yeah, they were. She's moving her hand.
I'm sorry,
and
I'm on
not
radio.
flipping the
So
paper over.
literally, I swear to you, this is true. So
On the top of their hand.
on the top of their hand, they had a couple of notes
Yeah.
for the test, and I caught them. I saw them, so I gave them. I gave a 0 on the test and an A on their hand. I said, "Your hand got an A, but you got a 0." So
Story of my life.
I once was cheating on a test. And what I did was I had some notes, little notes, and then I had, like the little piece of paper with like keywords, and then I had another little paper that said, "Ha ha, I fooled you." So that when I got caught, I would hand the "Ha ha, I fooled you" one to the teacher. So I got caught, and I said here, and I got in even more trouble.
Because you pretended to cheat?
Because I made a joke about whatever. They fucking hated me.
I don't know why you made me think of this, but there are certain tests where people cheat with each other and they give each other little signs, like they'll wink or they'll blink. And this has nothing to do with anything we're talking about except signs. Sue Kalinsky, who's one of my...
Oh, she was just on!
I know, and she's one of my...
I love her.
She's like one of my absolute best friends in the world. And a million years ago, I was in some comedy competition in Santa Monica at some club that's not there anymore.
Oh, Monica was in Santa Monica.
Hey.
Go.
And next Hanukkah, you can give Monica for Hanukkah in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh my Hanukkah.
So I said, Sue, listen, I need to know when. We only had like 2.5 minutes.
Right.
I said, give me a sign when I'm like at 2 minutes.
Right.
So I know I have 30 seconds. She goes, okay, I'll take my eyeglasses and I'll adjust them.
Right.
Like that. So she pushes her glasses from her nose to up,
Right.
And I go, great. Literally, I'm in 5 seconds and she starts adjusting her glasses because she completely forgot.
Yeah.
And she's just, I had no idea where we were.
Did you pass?
Did I pass? It wasn't a test. It was a comedy competition.
Yeah. Did you?
Yes.
All right.
I did, but I did go over.
Now,
Thanks to her.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Now, your real name, your birth name is May Lee Davis, okay?
Yes.
Which makes me think of a young Asian woman.
Yes.
Right.
It's an Asian country western singer woman.
And do you like Chinese food?
I love Chinese food.
But May Lee, does that not sound...
It's the weirdest
what
thing.
the fuck were your parents thinking?
My mother literally, I swear to God, she tells me that it was supposedly named after my father's sister May,
Right.
who died young. But
You're not supposed to be named after someone who died young or tragically.
well,
Go.
there you go.
Right.
So that's how you become a comic.
Right.
So anyway, she what's that? What
I don't know. It's probably the fucking...
you're making your face.
What? You heard that noise?
Are you?
Is there a gong in here?
No, it was outside. It's some like Trump thing. Go ahead.
Oh,
they're gathering up all the immigrants.
I feel like, shit.
Wait, it's sundown. We have to all go home and hide in our homes.
I have to go.
Yeah.
But she literally, I swear to God, her favorite restaurant was Bo Sung. It was a Chinese restaurant
Right.
in Riverdale. I mean, wherever near Riverside Drive.
Yeah.
And she, they were out to Chinese dinner, and she goes into labor.
No way.
I swear to God. And and they rush her off to the ambulance, and she's anesthetized.
Right.
And they knew that they wanted to name me May, but they didn't have a middle name.
Right.
And so she's thinking of the waitress. She's like literally stoned on
Right.
May Lee. And I think,
my God.
I swear to God, I think she's thinking to herself, Bailey, you forgot the duck sauce.
Right.
Who knows what she was thinking.
Right.
So there I was, Maylee Davis.
That's hilarious.
And,
So it is Asian.
yeah, so you are Asian. Meili.
yes, I am.
Meili.
Well, the name is.
Maylee
Well,
Davis.
I grew up kosher, and so when we would go out to eat on Sundays, but so my sister said this to me like a year ago. She's like, it was great getting out of the house and realizing they have things other than vegetable chow mein at the fucking Chinese. We would get egg drop soup and vegetable chow mein.
And my father would get egg foo young.
Yeah, but it was just like you couldn't. I didn't know there was anything other than chow mein.
Would you
remember that?
order anything different once you knew?
No. Oh yeah. Once I knew, I was like, ugh. But wait, what was that? La Choy. We used to get La Choy. La Choy makes Chinese food. Swing American. That was the. All right. So you're a teacher. You then start going to Second City.
I start studying with Second City.
Who'd you study with, and who was in your class?
Well, Del Close.
Del Close, the
Del Close.
Yeah.
And nobody famous was in my class. They were already on their way to.
Right.
They were all beyond that.
Right.
And I got to do the Sunday show. But otherwise, it was just classes. I mean, as far as performing. But that was that.
But
and then
I feel
moved,
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I just spit. Sorry. I feel like
I know.
that
I felt
is
it all the way over
shut
here.
The fuck. I feel like that is so different than stand up. Like,
It's
because
so different.
Improv is, I mean, you have to say yes. Someone has an idea. Like, oh, can you believe it's raining out? And you have to say, yes,
and
it's really, I'm getting wet,
You
And
can't say, no, it's not.
I know, because
can't.
that ends the entire thing. But that's my go-to is like, no, it's not fucking raining, and that's a stupid premise, So, yeah, it's really hard. So
Well, here's what happened was I had moved to San Francisco, and I was teaching there.
this is after Chicago.
This is after Chicago, where now I'm at Ravenswood,
Right.
this great school.
I love San Francisco.
And that school was in East Palo Alto. But anyway,
Right.
I still have the bug. What am I doing with
Right,
my
right,
life?
right.
I love teaching. I love these kids. But what am I doing?
Right.
I need to explore this creative side more.
Right.
So I opened the Pink Sheet. This is all true. And the Pink Sheet is...
I think that
Yeah, it's
No, the Pink Sheet in
Yeah.
San Francisco tells you all what's happening.
Right.
And there's an audition. I see an audition for a comedy troupe. And I go, I don't know what the hell this is,
Right.
but I figured it was an improv group or something. So it's in Berkeley, so I go. And I get there, and it turns out that it wasn't for an improv group, it was for stand-ups. And I had never done stand-up.
right, and you didn't even think about it.
I didn't even think about
Right.
it. And the guys, I said, I'm not a stand-up. I do improv. He goes, you do improv? Okay, get up and do improv. And I went
wow.
by myself. And he said, yeah. So I literally get on the stage and I start riffing about everything I see.
Right.
Literally, I mean, really dumb stuff. There was
Right.
a light string hanging from a light bulb.
Right.
And I said I was a female astronaut and I'm trying to reach my tampon.
Right.
I mean, it was like really stupid stuff.
Right.
But anyway, he said, well, that was pretty good. I want you to go to the Spaghetti Factory Friday night.
Spaghetti Factory.
That was a
yes.
a great place in San Francisco
Right.
where an improv group called
Yes.
Spaghetti Jam did their thing. Anyway, he said, we have stand-ups that night, but you're going to do improv with another guy in between the stand-ups. Like every 2 stand-ups, you're going to do 5 minutes of improv.
Right.
I went, great. The guy is Robin Williams. And
Oh my G.
swear to God, before
Jewish.
he's famous. And
Okay, every time you hit the table, that's the noise.
Okay, sorry.
All right, it's all right. We just figured it out. Dad.
Anyway, it was
So
fabulous, exciting. He was generous. He couldn't have been more generous as far as leaving things open, making things fun, laughing at my stuff,
brilliant.
taking my stuff and running with it. And it's like when you play tennis with somebody really good, your game gets better. And that's what happened.
So how long did you do that for?
We did that for like 2 weeks, but the important thing is he brought me into his improv group at the Holy City Zoo.
Yes, the Holy City
And
Zoo, very
that's where
famous
I
place.
met everybody.
Right, all the comics.
And he introduced me to the comics and said, "This is one funny little Chinese Jewish woman," and that's when we did improv there for 2 years.
Right.
But I was watching the stand-ups.
Yeah, it was like
every
school.
night. It
Like
was
I remember
school.
when I was in college when I started doing stand-up. I was 19, and I would come on Monday night because Adrian Tolsch had invited me to come. Yeah, I had done a show at Rutgers, and Bill Sheft, Adrian just passed away, and her husband Bill says, "I still see that little girl." And it was me, Larry Ambrose, and Adrian and Bill. And she said, "Come Monday nights." And I started going, I guess it was 1982, maybe 1 or 2. And I'd started hanging out at Catch a Rising Star. And that's where I learned, that's where you really learn the craft. And so
you think you're learning the
Right.
craft. You don't even know the half of it.
you can't do anything to, stage time is really
Obviously.
the only way to learn. But to watch... to be in the environment and watch these great comics work a room was so okay.
And to be on the road with some amazing
Yes.
comics when you're still an opening act and then a
Right.
middle act. I was on the road with Seinfeld
Right.
for 2 weeks when I was a middle act, and he'd say, it gets a really good laugh, but I think you would get a great laugh if you took a breath here,
Right.
instead of here.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God,
Yeah, because
you're
it's
right.
it's all about timing.
It's
yeah,
all- it's
but when
jazz.
comics are generous like that, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like. So tell me some of the people that you. So Robin Williams.
You were the first Mark and Mindy.
yeah, kind of.
All right,
Phoebe.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Thanks, Dad.
So
Dana Carvey.
Oh,
I would
Dana.
watch Dana every
Brilliant.
night. Dana Carvey is still one of the few comics that makes me laugh out loud.
Yes.
He's not just the church lady,
Right.
Which is
Right.
very funny. But
Right.
if you see him do stand-up, just go get any of his stand-up specials on HBO.
Yeah, hilarious.
Because, a clever comic who's got great lines, you can listen to and laugh and say, well, that's funny, that's
Right.
smart. But you're not going to laugh by the third time. You're not
Right.
going to be laughing.
once you get the
You're going to
pattern,
appreciate it. But when you have a physical, funny comic who's doing characters
Right.
and their comedy timing and their physicality, like
Brilliant.
Pryor,
Yeah.
I'll never not laugh at Richard
Right.
Pryor. And Dana Carvey.
Right.
Who and
else?
Kevin Meaney.
Kevin. Oh.
Kevin Meaney made me laugh out loud.
Oh, Kevin, I can't even listen to We Are the World ever again. I love his daughter. I'm good friends with his daughter, and it's just the saddest thing in the. All right, so anyway, so so you're at Holy City Zoo with Robin and Dana. How many women were in that little
Paula Poundstone.
Paula?
Nice.
That was it.
That was about it.
I'm wearing my Paula Poundstone pants today.
Yep.
Does she know?
Will
I
you
heard
tell
her
her?
screaming, looking for
Tell
them.
her.
She can't go on tonight,
Yeah.
thanks to you.
I took her pants.
So it was, and what, I mean, really, that era, you had Elaine Boozler.
But they were in L.A. In San
right.
Francisco.
So, and San Francisco, what people don't realize, San Francisco in the 70s and early 80s was like a breeding ground, as was Boston in the late 80s, early 90s was a breeding ground.
And I was really lucky
Right.
because one of my dear friends who I met at the San Francisco comedy competition, my good friend Kay came with me from LA. I had already moved to LA, but anyway,
That was a huge competition too. I mean, people who won or were finalists in that competition, really, it was like a huge credit.
I know. I got to the semifinals and
Wow.
it was amazing.
Right.
But my friend Kay sees this gorgeous guy on a bar stool, and he was there with Jack Gallagher,
Right.
who came from Boston.
Right.
And she said, "Oh my God, I'm going to marry that man."
And
she did. And
how long did that last?
they're still together.
No fucking way.
And Martin Olson became one of my closest friends, and he is a guru in Boston.
Right.
So Martin brought me to the Boston comedy
Right.
scene, and he said, "This is a very funny woman. Here she is."
So you really started in San Francisco.
I didn't start doing stand-up there. I was doing improv.
You were just getting on stage and getting in that comic life,
I was
with
feeling
Robin
it
and Dana.
and
Paula.
really just the seeds of stand-up were starting.
Right.
And then I quit teaching, moved to LA.
What was it like? I'm done. What told you I'm done?
I
teaching?
met a saxophone player who lived in LA.
Really?
I swear to God.
Jewish?
Yeah.
Name?
Herb, but he changed it to Phoenix.
Oh, God. I mean, he couldn't change it to Scottsdale? That's more Jewy. Good night, folks. Go ahead.
No, so I went down to visit. I said, all right, I'll hang out. I knew I needed... just like I say in the play, I mean, I talk about... This was after I got divorced
Right.
from my husband in San Francisco.
Let's talk about your husband. How many years? 2? 3?
2.
2. And how'd you meet him? I have to know, what did he do?
He was a lawyer, but for the Environmental Protection
Okay,
Agency.
and
So he was kind of a cool lawyer.
Was he a Jew?
No.
So-
in my show, the whole thing is about
Right.
the WASP wedding.
Right. And so your mother at the wedding.
I'm sorry. May I ask a question
Yeah.
really quick? Is this the one that kind of fetishized the stereotypes of the Jewish?
Yeah.
Yes, this
woman?
is the
Okay.
one we went to see, Heartbreak Kid.
And
Right.
he's like, "Oh, that's just
And he
like
sees
you."
Jeannie Berlin up there
Right.
being this Jewish, Jappy, Jewy Jap princess. And he goes, "That's you, honey." And I went, "Oh
Go
my
fuck
God.
yourself."
Who the hell
yeah.
have I? Who?
Right.
I'm married to, oh my God.
Right.
I was so, literally every part of my body was so shaken,
Right.
shook up by this
Right.
statement that he made that I could not get up from the theater. I was sobbing.
Right.
I said, "Oh my God, he doesn't know me. I'm married to a stranger, and he
Right.
thinks all Jews are this."
Right.
And that was, interestingly enough, one of the first times I ever identified and
As
wanted
being a
to
Jew.
defend
Judy
Jews.
is. Yeah. I know. It's funny.
I didn't give a shit about it before
Right.
then, but all of a
Until-
sudden
so
it was
it's
like
it's like Henry, my son, my older son, who used to always beat up Ben, the younger son. I said, "Henry, what if you went to, you're walking by the schoolyard and you see some kids beating up Ben?" He's like, "I'll kick the shit out of them." And it's the same thing. It's like I can say what I want because I'm a Jew, but you can't fucking say it. You know.
So that's when I said, when we split up, I said, "Okay, my life, this isn't even what I want to be doing.
Right.
I don't want to be married to him. That I know. I miss performing. But see, I was getting a little bit of a performing fix when I was teaching because I could be
Right, 'cause
funny.
you were- yeah.
And I had a captive audience and all this stuff. But
Right.
I couldn't. But then I started thinking funny things in my
Right.
head, and I wanted to get them out.
Right.
So that's
So you go to Boston.
well. First, I'm in LA,
Right.
And
you go from San Francisco to LA.
to LA, and I join an improv group at the Comedy Store. So now I'm seeing comics at the Comedy Store,
Right.
And
now people don't know that
I was a cocktail waitress. I was
No way.
I was a singing waitress at Poppy Star. It's time to stop. Oh, and then I became a waitress at the not the Laugh Factory, the Laugh Off, I can't remember. It was in Encino. It was a comedy club in Encino. So now I'm standing there holding drinks and I'm watching Gary Shandling, Elaine Boozler. I'm watching everybody.
Right.
Because this place was 20 minutes away from Hollywood.
Right.
Anybody could get there. And I said, so I said to the guy who booked the comics, I'm like this because I'm holding drinks that are melting. And his name was Howard Trussman. I said, "Howard, I can do this. I
know that name.
Yes, he booked comics all over.
Yeah.
And so I said, let me try to do this. So I
we didn't do Gary Shandling and Elaine Boozler. Go ahead.
I got up and I did like 3 minutes. And he said, "Pretty good. Come back with more." And I did 10 minutes. and then I did 15 minutes, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna make you an opening act to go to Newport, the Newport Comedy Stop."
Right,
oh
right.
God, it's killing me. It's
Right.
everyone knows. There's probably people at home screaming out the
Right.
name of this club, and because they had like 4 of them. They
Right.
had one in Houston. They had
Right.
one in. They had them all over. So I went, and it was 45 minutes from my house. But I said, I'm going on the road. I packed and I stayed in the comedy apartment there.
Oh God, those comedy condos.
But it was my first time.
I can't. I know. But then it's like I stayed. So the Comedy Store, people don't know, there's 3 rooms in the Comedy Store. There's the original room, the main room, and the belly room.
I
And
was
the
in the
belly
belly
room
room.
was Mitzi put the girls there. And I remember when I got to the Comedy Store in like 91, 92, she gave me every Friday night at 8 o'clock in the belly room. And that's really how I developed, she was amazing to me. But
She was great to us.
she did, people were like, oh, but you're in the belly. I love the belly room. It was like, how many seats? 70?
Yeah, it was so
intimate.
That's the thing. You could talk. The pressure. It wasn't the pressure of the big
Right.
room, and it wasn't the pressure of,
Following
Andrew
some-
Dice
Right.
Clay waiting for you to get off the stage.
Yeah, standing in the corner in the original room.
But I will tell you
Go.
I
Go.
will tell you one of the most a really terrible memory, wonderful and terrible. Sandra Bernhardt had just gotten the part of
In the
King
in
of
that
Comedy.
comedy.
So
Yeah.
in the belly room are Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Richard Belzer's there. There's all these people are there to watch Sandra.
Right.
And the place is packed, buzzing with agents,
Right.
managers, famous people.
Right.
And she finishes her set, and
They all get up.
they all get up to leave. There's like 4 people left, and then I go on.
and they're like, and ladies and gentlemen, Monica Piper.
I was probably Maylee Davis then. But anyway,
Yeah.
and now Maylee, who wants to hear a Chinese?
But you know what's...
But anyway,
Yeah.
and they were there, the 4 people, because I think they were too drunk to get up, basically. So that
But
was...
4 people in that room is like
But
packed.
it was a horrible moment, though, knowing, and they were all in the hall,
Right,
with
and talking,
Mitzi, and
yeah.
they're buzzing,
Yeah.
and it was all Sandra,
See, these-
who I love, and
Right.
she's hilarious.
These kids these days, they will go on tape. They'll send a tape, or they'll do a YouTube video. When you auditioned, it was live, and
Go on.
shut up.
Providing-
It was. I mean, that was it. If the audience hated you, or if someone was drunk in the front, too fucking bad. That was your
I
only
know.
shot. All right. Okay. So you're developing your chops as a stand-up,
Mm-hmm.
and
Very,
And I-
slow. I was a baby stand-up, and I was already old. I mean, not old,
Right.
But I was, I decided to do this. I wasn't in my.
well, Phyllis Diller was 37. You
right.
know,
Well,
but
I was in my. I was early,
right
30s,
and I knew of you when I started. You were already had done the circuit, but then you got a writing
Well, not right
you
away.
were touring though. You were.
Oh, I was
remember
on the
seeing your
road.
face, and you were at all these clubs.
I was on the road all over the place,
Right.
for years, and then, but then I adopted Jake.
right.
And-
So you are a single mom by choice.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I am determined that I am going to raise a child without a man.
No, I'm just saying you got to a certain point where you're like, I want to have a kid. I don't have
want
a
to
guy.
have a kid, and I will.
Yeah.
But I never stopped wanting the guy.
Right.
I just said I'm
Well,
going to do
that's
it
too
in this
bad.
order.
Right.
I'm going to have my baby, then find our man.
Right.
Because I just felt I couldn't wait any
Right.
longer.
Right. And where did you get Jake?
Oh my God. Where did I get him? I found
An adoption agency?
yes.
Yeah.
But it was a open
Right.
adoption agency, and she.
It's a great story in your show.
And she.
Yeah.
Thank you. And she put me together with this and I'll never forget it. She called me the birth mother, and I don't know if you've been through this process, but a lot of prospective birth mothers call you, and some of them are actually scams. You know,
Right.
they'll call you, and then the next day they'll say, "My mother overheard us, and she's kicking me out
It's
of
so
the
great
house."
that they can play with your fucking head like that. Yeah.
Well, but always, I mean, one of the most important things I think in the show is that I do give it from the birth mother's perspective. And I say to the audience, don't judge her.
Right.
She's my hero.
Right.
This is the bravest thing she ever
Right,
did.
of course.
In her life. And it wasn't a nasty, selfish thing. It was an unselfish thing.
Right.
But anyway, I was on the road, and she called me, and she was a waitress at the Opryland Hotel in
Oh, yeah.
in Nashville.
In Nashville. I've been there.
And I was an early fan of Garth Brooks.
Right.
Before he got famous.
Right.
I just said, I love this guy's
Right.
writing, and not that I was a huge country western fan,
Right.
I wasn't, but I just, before he got really famous, you know, I
Right.
thought, I dig this guy. So I had his album, and I was playing it in my room. She calls me, and she's playing Garth Brooks.
Oh, it's Bashir!
I know, isn't that stupid that we
but it
bonded over
isn't.
Garth Brooks?
No, but it's-
she said, "Are you listening to Garth Brooks?"
Is this not in your show? This
No.
is not in
No,
your show.
this whole
Why
Garth
wouldn't you-
Brooks thing isn't
you
in
gotta-
your show.
No,
You got
that's
to put
not-
that in.
I can't put everything.
All right, I
in.
know. Then it'll,
you know,
yeah,
but
that's for the next show.
That's for the
one
next
sentence.
show.
But there are
what I
signs.
s-
I'm sorry. There are signs.
But
There's no
anyway, we
coincidences.
talked and we laughed, and I was very open about why would you choose a
Right.
single woman? It feels like, you know, why wouldn't you want this baby to have a mom
Right.
and a dad? And she said, because marriage is no guarantee.
Right.
My dad walked out on us. And when he did, my mom didn't know shit about how
Right.
to earn a living.
Right.
You're already earning a living. And she loved the idea that he'd grow up around comedians.
That's so great.
And that he'd grow up with a woman who saw the world as a funny place.
Right.
So I could teach him to see the world as a funny place.
Right.
Oh, you should do a show
So,
about that.
I know. So you couldn't go on the road anymore because you
So
have this newborn.
Well, I had a newborn,
but you
I
can
took-
do the road a little bit
I took
until
him with me
Yes.
on the road.
Right.
That's that whole section in the show where I
Yes.
say
In the beginning.
I was a stay-at-hotel mom.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah.
it's easy but then when they
then
anyway,
they have to go to school apparently.
So yes, but before then, I had been on the road with him after he was like 6 to 8 weeks old.
Right.
And we started going on the road, and then
Were you ever in a comedy condo with the baby?
oh yes,
Were people like? Were the guys like, shut the fuck up?
no.
Oh, all right. That's
No,
good.
but actually by that time
Were they fucking waitresses in their room and you're like, yeah.
I lived through all that,
Yeah.
but actually, by the time I got, Jake, that was in the early 90s, and I started comedy in 1980.
Right.
So I was already being put up in hotels.
Right.
By that point.
Right.
So I would just order ahead, make sure I had a refrigerator in the room, make sure I had a whatever, and then I would call ahead to all the clubs,
Find out a babysitter
make
or
sure
something. Yeah.
that someone who worked there had a sister or
Right,
someone.
that's what I did too,
It had
yeah.
to be someone who,
Right.
and I would literally take their pictures, all of them, before I left for the club, so I had ID.
Oh.
And I'm amazed I didn't get their DNA.
Right.
You know, but anyway,
So then-
that was fun for many months. But then he was 8 months old, and I was trying to figure
Yeah.
out and I get a call from Roseanne.
Which is brilliant. You get a call from Roseanne
I
Barr.
want you to write on the show. We need a strong female voice.
Right.
And then Tom gets on. You gotta come. You gotta come. You gotta come. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was crazy. But
Oh, Roseanne. Sorry. Go ahead.
Right, and Roseanne, she says, "How's the baby? Oh, that's the cutest thing.
Yeah.
I bet he's so cute, this baby." But what she didn't say was, you know, that baby that's so cute. Well, you're never gonna see him again,
Right.
because you're gonna be in a room
Writer's
till
room.
4
Yeah.
in the morning.
So were you the? I mean, I know Lois Bromfield worked on that show.
You know-
were you the only woman at that point?
No, no, but they weren't.
What year were you?
92, 93.
You know, I was on an episode in 1991. before you were there. Tom
My
was there.
ex played DJ's girlfriend.
Yeah,
toward
I
the
know.
end.
Great.
Oh, really?
So,
oh, that's cool.
I played a woman in the Big and Tall lingerie shop
Oh,
for Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's so funny.
And my father had just died, and I was like, oh, he got me. It was my first time on a set, you know. And I remember the couch. I was like, oh my God, there's the couch. You know, like the first time is so exciting.
It's so much fun.
Okay, so
I just have to tell you a funny story
Yeah.
about the couch. Well, Norm Macdonald was one of the writers,
Right.
my season, and they say we need something. We need Roseanne to find something under the couch cushion that shows she hasn't cleaned in a long time. And Norm Macdonald's like sound asleep in the writer's room, and then he opens his eyes and goes, a TV guide with Don Adams on the cover, and then he goes back to sleep.
That's so funny.
and it was, you know.
Yeah. So
that was fun.
Were you the only woman in the writers' room?
No, I was not. There was a
because
writing
because
team.
of Roseanne.
Right, but there weren't any female comics my year, but there certainly have been. Carrie
Snow, love her.
You know, a lot of females wrote on that show
because of Roseanne. Because most shows there weren't. There was one, maybe.
Right.
Lisa Goranson was on Kill Me Now.
Yes.
Oh, she's
great.
Yeah.
And then she got replaced by the other Becky.
And then she went back. Okay, then so you go Roseanne, Veronica's Closet.
No, Mad About You.
Then Veronica's Closet. Then Rugrats,
then back
all
to
grown
Rugrats and all grown up.
Wild Thornberry.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one too. Wild Thornberries.
So I had an overall deal with Klasky Chupo initially, where I was switching back and forth between Rugrats, the Wild Thornberries, as told by Ginger. You know that whole.
Right.
And so I would switch back and forth. I'd either be writing a Rugrats, but it was during that time that my agent submitted my Mad About You spec script to Mad About You. And I said, what did you do? You're never supposed to do that. You're never supposed to submit the script
for that show.
Because they're going to obviously think,
oh, fuck her.
She can't write for our show. But
did they do the episode?
Yes, they did the episode. We changed it,
of course,
but no, it got, of course, better.
Right.
But here's a funny story of writing a script for a show and having a kid, because this was when I would have to say to Jake, Mommy's got a deadline. I can't. So look, my script is due in 2 days, so I'm not cooking tonight. There's no cooking, so don't ask me for. I mean, we're gonna go to Bob's Market and get a lean cuisine or something. A kid's cuisine. So just so we go to Bob's Market, which is in the epicenter of politically correct Santa Monica. Right. And my son literally says, "Oh, Mom, broccoli." Because he loves broccoli. Right. And I said, I told you, I'm not cooking. And I swear to God, this PC Santa Monica, woman who I'd never met, she said, excuse me, we've never met, but did your son just ask for broccoli? And you said no. So I went, yes. And then Jake says to her, she's got a script due. But it was cute because he defended me. Right. He said, she's got a script due.
Henry loved broccoli too. I don't know. It's so weird.
Oh, he hates it now, but he loved it then.
So...
But that's why writing for Rugrats was so cool. Right. Because instead of saying to him, I can't talk to you now, Mommy's got a script due, it was like, come here, I need a joke for Chucky.
Help me write the script.
That's so great.
And he would give me, what if he thinks he eated a bug? I can work with that.
That's great.
Beautiful.
And it's so great that you got to do that because it gave you, some stability to bring your child up, unlike
but see,
me.
There was another... Oh.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
There was another issue, though. If you recall in the play, I made a promise to the birth mother that I will be a great mom. Right. So now I'm sitting in a writer's room on the #1 show in the country. Mm-hmm. It's 4 in the... fucking morning. Yeah. And the head writer, who was not Roseanne, she had nothing to do with that, he said, he never wanted to go home. He loved hanging with the writers. He didn't. He had an unhappy marriage, whatever. And so 2 a.m, let's order pies. And I'm saying, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, forget it.
And they're ordering pies, and I'm home. I got the daytime nanny who left,
Right.
and the nighttime nanny came to take care of him. And I would get home at 4:30 in the morning, and
You have to get up with him.
and
yeah.
I would be, that's the only time I
Right.
could be with him.
Right.
So I'm with him. And all the other writers could come in at noon
Right.
on the days you stayed till 4 a.m.
Right.
Well, that didn't do me any good
Right,
if
right,
I wanted
of
to spend
course.
any time with my kid. So it was pretty nightmarish in many ways.
Right.
But on the other, it was so double-edged because
Right.
I'm making good money. I'm
Right.
off the road. I'm on the number.
And you're still getting residuals.
And still, literally
yeah.
still.
I still get 3 cents, whatever.
It's
Do
amazing.
you check on SAG-AFTRA? They have residuals tracker now. Did you know this?
Well, I get my residuals
from the Writers
Guild.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they have.
yeah, but understand that I wrote on Rugrats for years,
Right.
and you don't get a dime.
Oh,
Because
that's fucked up.
Animation, because from some rule
Right.
years ago, when animation was Mickey Mouse,
Right.
Was all drawing, and he's
Right.
falling off a ship, and every now and then he'd
Steampunk
go,
Willie.
woo woo,
Right.
Hey, look at me,
Right.
woo. That was it. Now look at
You should
Oh my
sue.
God, these scripts are so intricate and
amazing.
Yeah.
But like The Simpsons, those guys, that's considered prime time, and that's different. But
Right.
But anyway, yes. So I'm writing on Roseanne, and my agent, I said, I'm losing my mind. I'm not seeing my child. I'm sleep deprived. I'm not, but I still was. And then, you don't want the pressure of not pitching a great joke.
Oh, of course.
In the room.
Right.
You need to get your jokes in the script.
Right.
So,
and none of the guys are like, I don't see my kid. You know.
they've all got wives.
Right.
They've all got wives with
Right.
the kids. So it was like, and I don't want to complain. So I said to my agent, oh my God, he said, Monica, you cannot quit. On a hit sitcom, especially Roseanne, you get fired, that's okay.
Right.
But you quit a sitcom, you'll never work.
Never work in this town again.
Literally, it's one of the rules. Never quit a hit show.
Right.
So I stuck it out, and it killed me because
And, now he's 25. He doesn't remember, does he? I know. I felt so guilty.
Oh, I know.
I wrote a book called When Mommy Goes Away with my friend who's an animator. I just found it, too. And it was a book that Henry would bring to daycare. And every time I left, and it was this whole story about exactly what I do when I leave. And I get in a car and I'm thinking about Henry.
So he could kind of
and
be
then-
with you.
Yeah, and then I get, and every time I did Hollywood Squares, they sent a limo from the airport, and I would pick him up in daycare. It was only 7 blocks away, but I'd pick him up in the limo.
That's
and
fun.
it was so fun. But he had this little book about how I'm always thinking about him, even though I'm away.
that is so sweet.
You're such a good dad.
Shut
You
up.
see, you have this sweetness in you.
Oh,
But I'll keep it. I'll keep it quiet.
No, I think everyone is pretty fucking aware of the fake anchor. But
Fanker?
it's not fake. Actually.
No, it's
You
not.
know, we had a car. We had a Toyota Corolla, and we called him Fast Eddie, Fast Eddie Corolla. And when Jake was in preschool, we'd be driving, and I gave the car a complete persona. You know,
Right.
hi, Jake. How was school?
Right.
Oh, it was good, Fast Eddie. How was your day? It was good. I got to ride on the freeway, and I got gas, and
Yeah.
and we were just. And I did this for years, like 3 years when he was in school.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I realized, holy shit, I have to sell Fast Eddie. I'm getting this new car, Fast Eddie's
Right.
dying.
Oh.
And I had to tell Jake
that
that
Fast
I was
Eddie's-
selling Fast Eddie. He said, what? You can't sell Fast Eddie. He's my brother. And I'm like, oh my God.
Did you keep
so
Fast
cute.
Eddie?
No, I had to sell him. He was,
You should have said
That
fat-
was his first death.
You should have.
but I sold him to a comedian,
Oh.
Paul Kozlowski.
Oh, yeah.
You know Paul?
Oh, my God. I haven't heard that name.
I sold.
No, not
no,
Jewish.
No,
really?
No.
No,
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
do you have an undue belt?
Yeah.
So
Chamza.
I sold him to, and I told Paul, listen, we have to visit. I told Jake that we could visit Fast
Right.
Eddie. So we did that for a couple of times. See how happy Fast
Right.
Eddie is? You know,
Oh,
hi,
God.
Jake, I don't want you to feel bad. I live a really nice life. I had
That
to give
is
it
so fucking.
closure.
How is Paul Kozlowski? Who the fuck knows? Okay, so moving ahead, you
So we went back on the road after Roseanne.
and
We went back on the road for 2 years. Then he had to go to preschool.
right, and then
And I came back and I actually got some other silly job. I was on a comedy game show called Wordplay, I think. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
but you made it as a writer,
and
which
then
was
I got Rugrats.
Right.
That's when I was doing Rugrats and the Wild Thornberries.
Right.
And then I left to do Mad About You.
Right.
And they were all looking at me like they, like minor league baseball
Right.
players. You're going to the show.
yeah, right. You're leaving animation. Yeah.
And animation gets a bad rap.
I know.
And it's so
And
cool.
now it's so
animation.
great, like
So
South Park,
great.
Family Guy, Cleveland. I mean, it's so
I know.
great.
You know what I want to do now? My dream
The
now
Cleveland show sucked.
is to do a voice.
Whatever.
My dream is to be a voice.
You? It's the greatest job. You don't have to wear makeup.
I
Fucking great. You can. Yeah, I want to do a voice too.
Yeah, I mean, all you'd have to do is be like, remember Rugrats? I made that bitch.
Yeah,
and
you
I
felt
feel
like
like you're.
didn't.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly
didn't.
how it works in show business,
no,
Lauren.
yeah.
I mean, you basically. I mean, some of it.
So
I know how it works.
you almost fucked Mickey Mantle.
This is true.
Yeah. Would you?
When he was
I mean,
old and drunk.
Right, but you loved Mickey Mantle, and
As
then
a
it's
child.
horrible reading. Yeah, it's horrible meeting your heroes, and then they're
Tell me
drunk and
about it.
old.
You know what bothers? There's a line in the show when I the whole Mickey Mantle story. I adore him as a child. I fall in. It's my first love.
I can't believe it wasn't Sandy Koufax. No.
But we were Yankee fans.
Yeah.
So and then I meet him years later. I'm 40, and he's there sitting there at the St. Regis, and we're at my aunt and uncle's. By the way, I don't know if this helps sell tickets, but my uncle's name was Hamilton. Anyway,
Not that Jewish at New World Stadium.
and I see him, and I say to the audience, I said, there he was having drinks with his sons. It was 4 years before he checked into the Betty Ford Center. And to me, I laugh every time.
Right. I
There's
think
like
that
there's like 8 people who really get that that's
Yeah.
funny, and they ask, what's she talking about?
But isn't the bar at St. Regis now the Mickey Mantle something? Or I know there's a Mickey Mantle bar on 59. All right, whatever.
On 59th Street,
Yeah.
there used to be Mickey Mantle's, but
Yeah.
it closed.
But it was
Oh, it
my
did.
aunt and uncle's 50th wedding anniversary.
Right.
And throughout the whole show, you're aware of them. From
Right.
when I'm a child, Aunt Rose and
Yes,
Uncle
yes.
Hammy are kind of characters that reappear in my life as a
Right.
young adult. And so you understand that it's family and it's close. And they're married 50 years. And I'm the same. We're about to go to dinner at at Lutece. They have reservations. They had a lot of money. It was a big deal.
Right.
And not a lot of, it was
Right.
family. And Mickey Mantle literally, says, stay and have drinks with me and blah, blah, blah. I saw you on evening.
And you're like,
at the improv,
yeah.
and you're funny as hell, and you're so cute. And
Wait,
blah, blah.
I'll do it. We'll do an act. Hey, why don't you stay with me? I saw you need the improv.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah, listen, you got a hot ass, man. I want to fuck.
It's kind of what it was
I want to
like.
go to.
But the point is, I chose family. I chose people.
Yeah, you chose your family over.
Oh, he struck out.
I said Mickey Mantle couldn't get to first base.
Yeah, that's funny.
So
I'd have fucked them.
shut. All right. So
Mickey
here you
Mantle.
are. Your son is. What does your son do now, Jake?
He's studying. Well, he loves to play hockey. He's a
Ice hockey.
ice hockey.
Does he
player.
fucking beat the shit out of what the fuck is that? That's what I don't fucking get about hockey. Like Henry loves hockey too.
Oh my God.
Like, and all they do is fucking beat the shit out for no reason.
No, I can't. I can't have
oh.
this. We'll have to have this discussion another time.
All right.
This is part 2.
I cannot discuss hockey. hockey is my happy place.
No, we watch it. We've gone to hockey games, but I'm like, why the fuck are they beating the shit out of each other? All right. So he and
Because
how
it's
often?
better than attacking each other at 40 miles an hour
Right.
with sticks.
Right.
And
not attacking each other
And
at all.
because you can't really land a
Right.
punch when you're on the ice,
Right.
on ice skates.
So your
Because
son
they
is
have to let off
25.
steam. Yes, he's 25. He's studying for his real estate license.
Oh, that's good.
But he works at Orchard Hardware Supply, which is a big chain in LA, like
Right.
Home Depot, and he's the guy that cuts the wood
Oh,
for
that's
the
cool.
people, the contractors who.
Now, was he bar mitzvahed?
Yes.
Does he feel like a Jew? Is he not
He
that
has a Jewish heart.
He has
He
a
has a
Jewish
neshama,
heart.
the Jewish neshama.
Yes, there's a beautiful bar mitzvah scene
Right.
in the play.
Right.
Which, anyway, I say where he got through his
Right.
Torah portion with ease, and I'm struggling to speak the Hebrew prayers.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting.
I
when you
did.
say
I
you're-
sounded like Jerry Lewis. Remember?
So he was. So, as a Jewish mother who's on the East Coast with her Jewish son on the West Coast, how often do you speak?
Well, we try at least once a week, but very often I have to call him, and then he'll call me back. But this week he totally surprised me. Phone rang. Hi, Mom. I go, okay. Are you in jail? I'm thinking,
Yeah.
What's happening? I said, are you okay? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, just wanted to say hi.
Finally got a minute. He's in college,
I
right?
missed your. No,
He's working and
He's
studying.
working. He's working, and he's decided he wants to. He thinks he'd be good at
Real
real
estate.
estate.
Oh
but-
yeah, that's great.
My Henry, who's in Indiana University in Bloomington. I'm not kidding. It's how many times a day? This morning I get
Too
up.
much.
It's
Too much, Henry.
No, it isn't. It's,
he calls you?
all the time. FaceTimes
wow,
me.
you're lucky.
Hi,
Get a little
I'm
weird,
folding
Henry.
my laundry. I talk to my kids like 50 times a day, and of course, Elisa, my girlfriend, is like, "That's mental." Meanwhile, she's. She basically lives with her parents. No, I'm kidding. No, but she talks to her parents all the time. Mine are dead. But
You're all codependent.
so we ask our guests, by the way, everyone, when you are in New York, and you're probably going to go on the road with the show.
at some point.
Yes.
But what I want them to know is the title is not that Jewish, and people tend to think, well, it's a stand-up comic doing
No,
a show
yeah, I
with
know.
Jewish in the title, so it's going to be a comic doing
Right.
Jewish shtick.
No, it's a
it's
play.
really not. It's a
play.
real play.
Yeah, that's
And-
when I did my show, I was like, they kept saying, "Oh, hilariously funny," but there were so many serious parts. I'm like, no, don't say it. They think they're watching stand-up, but Not That Jewish. It's a great one-person show, but it has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
It has
and
an
it
arc.
is it's a play.
Fran Drescher was there the other night,
Yeah.
and she said that I was so thrilled. She said it was honest and touching.
Yeah, that's
As-
exactly
as
what it
opposed
is.
to funny and
Right,
I mean, yes,
no,
of
it's
course
real.
it's funny.
It's real.
It's touching.
Okay, that's great.
May I ask one more question?
Wait, Fran Drescher, go.
The woman that plays the voice of Tommy Pickles.
Yes, Melanie Charter.
Right.
Oh no, Melanie plays Dee Dee Pickles.
Oh, I just looked her up. So I
E.G.
don't- White.
No.
Who's
oh my
E.G. White?
God. Oh God, I'm so bad.
no, this is fine.
I'm having a senior moment, and you put me on the spot.
I'm really sorry.
She's great. She's also a beautiful singer.
I have had a crush on her since I was very small.
She's great.
Is she everything and more that
Yes.
I thought? Oh,
She's
damn it.
terrific.
Unrequited love.
Oh, she is absolutely. E.G. Somebody, come
I
on.
love you, E.G. Oh, I'm
She's-
sorry. No, this is my fault. I
she's
should be looking it up.
really.
Oh, God.
I
Someone's
know it.
trying to
It's
get
like
in the
one of those
fucking
things I
building.
know just so well. I'm just.
Well, it's
having-
like earlier when I said that you sound like Kathleen Turner, and I couldn't think of her name.
Kathleen Turner before she got.
Oh, yeah, Kathleen Turner.
Before the strange
Right.
accent. Before she turned German or something.
All right, I'm looking it up because I
But
caught you
anyway,
off guard, and it's right on the tip of your brain, and I'm sorry.
We have to ask our usual questions of our guests.
God, she is so hot.
But anyway,
Elizabeth
we're at New
Daly.
World, Elizabeth
Okay.
Daly. She's at. I'm at New World Stages. You can get.
No, we get to that at
Oh,
the end.
okay, great.
Shut the fuck up.
E.G.
Listen.
Daly. Yeah, E.G.
Okay. These are the questions we ask all of our guests.
Yes.
She's so cute.
Number one, what pisses you off the most in life? Like, what fucking makes you fucking crazy?
Noisy mutes. That is people who are very loud and say nothing. They drive me fricking.
No substance, just sound.
Just sound to hear. And what really...
Do an example.
Anybody who's standing there...
So this is a nice water cooler, right?
No, that's not loud enough.
No.
So yeah, go ahead.
But I don't just mean loud. I mean people who are wrong, who are loud about
So
it.
Trump and Kellyanne and Sean
Exactly.
Spicer. Yeah.
I mean, I've had I actually don't even want to bring Trump in right now.
He's a fucking
because
ass.
it's the people who are defending him and
Yes.
the whole thing. But what also bothers me is when you are talking to someone and you know that they are not listening but are thinking of what they're going to say back.
Right.
While you're
I
still
fucking hate
making
that.
your point.
Can I say something? Shut the fuck up. I feel like Jay Leno did that a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I felt
See, I
like a
don't
lot
know
of
Jay
times. No, when I watched his show, I felt like he was
when
waiting
he
to get the
interviewed.
joke in.
Yes, you can really tell when someone's a bad interviewer on TV. That's why I love Kimmel, because I believe he really listens to you.
I thought Letterman listened,
Definitely.
because when you can feed off of whatever the person's saying,
Yes, excuse me.
and I think Colbert listens too.
Yes,
but
he does.
when it's always about the joke, when can I get this joke in? Yeah.
But I'm talking about people that you come in contact with.
Right.
Excuse me, and you're trying to
Please
get
don't
them.
die on the show.
I'm trying not
All
to.
right.
You're trying to make a point
Right.
that you really want them to understand, and they're just thinking about how they're going to defend.
Right. Whatever.
their
They don't
p-
listen. Right.
They do not listen. They hear, but they don't listen.
Well, they don't listen to the whole point, and that's why these people they live off of sound bites and parts of thoughts, not the entire.
And slow people piss me off. I can't stand people who move slowly.
Oh yeah, get the fuck out of my! And you're tiny, so.
But I'm in New York.
Yeah, you're a New Yorker.
But I've lived in California
Right.
for 25 years at least, and I'm still. But people, I look really young and cute.
She's
But anyway-
super cute. She's a little firecracker.
But anyway, I the whole world is in slow motion, and yet I chose on purpose to raise a son in Southern California. Do you have? I actually used to do a joke about it. Do you have any idea how hard it is for what it's like for a ex-New Yorker living with someone on dude time?
Yeah, right.
Let's go! Mom, chill. Shut up! Just get your ass out the door.
I was in LA and my ex got pregnant, and she said, "Okay, so we have to make a decision. We're gonna either stay in LA or I kept my apartment in New York. We still had our apartment." And I said, I want to bring my kid up in New York City. And plus my family was here. But I always wanted to grow up in New York City, and I wanted
New York kids are really special.
Yeah.
But
Thank you very much.
I'm so glad you said that, because early on I was a little nervous about people bringing kids to the show.
Right.
And my stage manager, Katrina Olson, who's so wonderful, she said, you'd be surprised. New York kids are sharp, and they're theater savvy. And I said, but they're going to get bored, and
No,
they
they're not.
don't have the life experience. No. Cool.
Yeah,
kids
they're
come up to
amazing.
me telling me that they laughed, they got everything, they were so inspired.
Yeah, I mean, you're
And,
so animated and so much fun to watch,
Yeah.
and just you really keep the attention.
Yeah.
of the audience.
We ask every one of our guests if they are on any antidepressants. We're a very pro mental health show.
No, I'm actually not.
Have you ever been?
Yes, I was. I was actually going to write a book called "There's Not Enough Zoloft in the World."
See, that makes me puke. The Zoloft.
I take the Zoloft.
That was just for a while.
Right.
you know,
we all smoke pot.
you know,
We're
that
very cannabis friendly
that
here.
makes me, that does it. And,
Yeah.
but I haven't, it's funny, I haven't done anything like that since I've been here because I don't want to cough. I want my lungs really clear.
Yeah, I've noticed you weren't coughing at all before.
On stage. Well, I coughed a couple of times, but
She's
You
getting
can
over a
get
cold.
edibles, Monica.
no, that's, to me, edibles are stupid.
Yeah,
you
me too.
eat them and
then you fall
they're
asleep.
fattening, and then you want to eat.
Yeah,
then you
that's
get
true.
the munchies, so you want to eat more. That edibles, I'm not a fan.
I agree.
But anyway, I did. There was a certain period in my life when I wasn't getting work.
and
I felt like, oh my God, and ageism really started.
Oh.
It was so real in the sitcom world. It was so real, but not only from their end, but kind of from my end.
Right.
I couldn't see myself any longer in a room full of 20 and
who think they're so
30-year-olds who think they know about life.
Right.
It was, everything was scatological. On Veronica's Closet, everything
Right.
was like, well, what if the chocolate melts and everyone thinks it's poop?
Yeah.
And that's hilarious. That's funny. But anyway.
So where can people find you on social media?
Oh,
Not?
well, yes, but I have to say
You hardly check
my
it.
Facebook. no, I'm big Facebook.
Right.
Well, there's a Not That Jewish page.
Oh, that's good.
On
Go to the Not That Jewish page on Facebook. Like it, friend it, write a little note.
Yeah.
And if you're around New York, come and see it. Do yourself
Come
a
see.
favor.
Now it's
But I'm on Facebook a lot.
Right.
But that's so I love Facebook. To me it's a lot of comedians and
Yeah.
it's old friends.
Larry
and,
Ambrose is so fucking funny.
I mean,
on
so
Facebook.
Leah Krinsky makes me laugh.
Did you see what
10
he wrote
times a day.
yesterday?
No.
Oh my God!
I gotta friend
He's-
him. We're not
Oh,
friends.
he's the best. Larry Ambrose wrote. Faye Dunaway looked great. I'm glad she decided to go with the open casket. Fucking cracked me up. He is fucking hilarious. So people can if you're in New York, please come see Not That Jewish. It's really great. It's a fucking great story. It has layers. It's a play. It's fantastic.
And just to watch Monica on stage is such
Monica's
a treat.
great. She's very animated, does amazing voices. So go see that.
Thank you. But you will. There will be moments you'll, bring your tissues.
Yeah, that's what a good show is.
Yeah.
And go to notthatjewish.com and they'll give you all the dates. And
That's great that you got that URL.
yeah.
That's
oh
awesome.
yeah, and call telecharge and they'll give you any information you need.
And yeah,
And if you're a group of 10 or more, get ready to ring the bell. You get a nice discount.
yay, Jews! But you don't have to be Jewish to appreciate Not That Jewish.
But you do have to be Jewish to make that joke.
Good night.
It's true.
Monica, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, I had a great time.
Keep good luck with the show. I'm sure
Thank
it's going to go
you.
on the road and go
Thank
all over
you.
the world.
And you have never not made me laugh.
Oh, Monica.
I remember I went that wonderful movie about female comics
Yeah.
and the birth of
Yeah.
comedy. With Molly Pecan
Pecan,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
Oh,
And
right.
you're sitting there schmoozing about it with
Oh yeah,
at Cantor's or
Katz's Deli. All I wanted was the food. They said, "Oh, we have free food." I'm like, "I'm in." Who knew they were going to really use all the footage? I was like shoving my fucking
It
face.
was great. And Sue Kalinsky loves
Yeah.
you so much.
I love her.
And I love Sue. So
Yes, that we're all in love.
whole-
Shabbat shalom.
the whole mishpucha.
Barf.
All right, so thank you. I can't thank you enough for being here.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Me too. And as we always say, so long.
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.